Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Thursday, January 30th. Following one more quiet day of weather, our next winter storm is going to be moving in for Friday and the weekend, with the winter storm watches now in effect. I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Keyboards we're going to focus on today. Again, final day of high pressure is expected for today. Dry conditions, slightly warmer temperatures, but certainly another cold start out there this morning. Our next system remains on track to move in for Friday and the weekend, as atmospheric river moisture and southwest flow usher in widespread precipitation and some gusty winds at times, as temperatures turn a bit more mild heading into the weekend, supporting a mix of rain and snow across our lowest elevations. Precipitation chances do look to continue into next week as our active weather pattern continues as we head into early February. And taking a quick look at satellite out there for you this morning. Not a whole lot to talk about. Clear skies, mostly sunny out there for you today, but we will see an increase in upper level clouds streaming in out of the northwest. Later today into tonight, that'll be the leading edge of a larger system moving into our area for tomorrow and the weekend. And here's a look at that system, currently well off the Pacific coast, but as you can see, really organizing that moisture as it's continuing to intensify and develop. So we are going to see some outer bands of cloud cover start to build in later today into tonight. But the moisture with this system won't arrive at least into southeast Idaho until later in the day tomorrow morning and through the rest of the day and weekend as these systems come on shore. And speaking of systems, I wanted to kind of show you a large, broader view here. So you got one low pressure system here and another one right behind it. Both of these are combining for quite the long moisture axis. And if you draw a line southwest to northeast, you can see Idaho is right in the path of that. So we are going to be seeing this plume of moisture continue to lead to widespread precipitation chances heading into Friday and the weekend and into next week as we see much of this moisture move on shore into the west. And your weather risk outlook for your next 5 days. Nothing to talk about today, but changes are on the way starting tomorrow. Overall, fairly dry for most in the morning. We'll see a mix of rain and snow move into the Magic Valley and Central Mountains later in the morning around midday, and then the rest of eastern Idaho by the afternoon and evening hours with widespread rain and snow expected. For the weekend, again, we may see brief lulls at times, certainly possible, but with this, just expect those rain and snow chances to continue with winds peaking on Saturday. Here's a look at our current winter storm watches that are in effect. These are going to be highlighting where we're expecting the heaviest snowfall, so certainly some moderate to even major impacts, especially over some of our mountain passes here starting for tomorrow and the weekend. And breaking down the timing for you on that precipitation. Again, dry conditions out there today and into tomorrow morning. Not expecting any impacts there. But as you can see, precipitation chances steadily ramp up around midday into the afternoon and evening hours. That's where we're going to see that first push of some warmer air. So we may see some pockets of freezing drizzle out there where some of that colder air that's been in place for several weeks now can't get pushed out as far as quickly mixing with that warmer air. But overall, seeing that mix continue into the weekend, trending a bit colder, certainly in our mountains, so expecting all snow up there. But as you get into our lowest elevations, that rain and snow will continue all the way into next week. And temperatures for you today, another cold morning with widespread sub-zero temperatures across the Snake River Plain and for some of our colder mountain basins, with afternoon highs still hanging out in those 20s, 30s, and 40s. Wind gusts today should remain on the light side, less than about 25 miles an hour. And heading into Friday, a little bit warmer, courtesy of some upper-level clouds filling in. And afternoon highs starting to show that mixing a little bit better as that system pulls in. Afternoon highs still mostly in those 30s and 40s, a little bit cooler further north in the 20s. And precipitation for you on Friday. So starting off dry in the morning, things picking up around midday into the afternoon and evening hours with widespread light to moderate snow expected. Highest totals up in the central mountains. And here's a look at those wind gusts for you on Friday. Winds will be ramping up, but still staying about less than 25 to 30 miles an hour gusts on your Friday. And heading into Saturday, noticeably warmer there for overnight lows, starting off the month of February. Those overnight lows are warmer than what we've typically been seeing for afternoon highs in some locations, so certainly indicative of that more mild air mass building in. But for afternoon highs there on Saturday, widespread above freezing temperatures are expected. That'll support that mix of rain and snow we've been talking about. Highs there are the 30s and 40s. And precipitation on Saturday, this looks like we're going to see some widespread moderate to heavy precipitation, especially as you get up into the mountains. A little bit less, certainly, with the Snake River Plain with respect to snow, but some decent rain as well with this event across our lowest elevations. Really focused with this is going to be on those high mountain snow totals outside of the Snake River Plain. And wind gusts on your Saturday, again, this is when we're expecting winds to peak. We should see gusts about 35 to 45 miles an hour for some spots, but we'll see exactly how much areas of blowing and drifting snow we get, given those warmer temperatures, but certainly something to keep in mind there for Saturday. And heading into Sunday, another mild morning, teens, 20s, and 30s across the board, with afternoon highs in the 30s, 40s, and maybe even some low 50s around the Magic Valley. And for your Sunday, again, looking at more widespread precipitation, an emphasis there up into the central mountains and south and east of the Snake River Plain. We're going to continue to see these impacts continue, widespread snow and rain heading into early next week. And wind gusts on Sunday do look like they're going to ramp down from what we saw on Saturday. Still a bit breezy, gusts about 20 to 30 miles an hour, locally stronger as you head further north and east. And for your Monday, starting to cool things down just a hair, teens, 20s, and 30s in the morning, afternoon highs in the 30s and 40s. And by Monday, you guessed it, we got some more precipitation building in for Monday. Again, some light accumulations across the Snake River Plain. More moderate impacts are going to be confined up into our mountains. And wind gusts on Monday, again, just keeping with that breezy southwest winds here, gusts about 20 to 30 miles an hour. And here's a look at the storm total. So this is going to start you off on Friday morning all the way through Monday night. So we see some, certainly breaks in times with the precipitation, but the overall thing with this will be certainly tracking a significant prolonged period of some pretty heavy mountain snow, especially as you get up into the central mountains, south and east of the Snake River Plain, and up around the greater Yellowstone region. This is where travel over mountain passes will be particularly something to keep in mind here over the coming days. But even if you're in the lower elevations, some of our valleys are expecting to see some fairly decent snow as you head into the high country. And a look at what's to come, if that was an indicator of some more active weather favoring our region, the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook does favor that above normal favored precipitation across all of southern Idaho. And with respect to temperatures, we are going to be kind of in a competing air mass. Really cold Arctic air to the north, and above normal, more mild temperatures to the south. That'll leave us more of that near normal trend, so think, highs generally in those 30s and 40s each day in that 6 to 10 day period. 8 to 14, a little bit of a weaker signal there, but overall leaning above normal for precipitation as we head into the middle part of February. And 8 to 14 temperatures do look like we should cool off fairly quickly behind that system that comes in. So 8 to 14 is looking like we should cool back down. Generally highs again in those 20s, 30s, some isolated 40s. And that's about all I have for you this morning. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome Thursday and stay safe out there.